Hey everyone, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Just gonna give it a minute for folks to trickle in and then we will get started. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining our February RTAG meeting and being flexible with our time change. Next slide, please. There we go. Just a quick notification of recording. This virtual public meeting will be recorded. The MBTA may choose to retain and distribute the video, still images, audio, and/or transcript. By continuing attendance with this virtual public meeting, you consent to participate in a recorded event. If you are not comfortable being recorded, please turn off your camera and keep your microphone muted, or you may choose to excuse yourself from the meeting. Other important notes, whether being recorded or not, your microphone and webcam are automatically disabled upon entering the meeting. The meeting will be open to questions and answers at the end of the formal presentation, and please take time to respond to our survey. Your feedback is important. Just to run through today's agenda, we'll begin with a welcome and introductions, followed by Zoom directions. Then we will have RTAG co-chair Nora Nagel give an RTAG update. Then Laura Brailsford, the AGM of System-Wide Accessibility, will give system-wide accessibility updates, followed by a system-wide accessibility feedback session. Then Megan Ackerman, the Deputy Director of Paratransit Communications at the RIDE, will give updates, followed by a RIDE feedback session, and then we will finish with closing remarks. Zoom directions for ASL interpreters today. We have Denise Martinez and Kara Schwartz. To view their video, find the interpreter's video in the gallery. In the top right corner of the interpreter's video, click the ellipses, then click the pin video option. This will keep the interpreter's video on your screen. Zoom directions with today's CART captioning. We have Denise Gracia. To start viewing closed captioning, click closed caption with the CC icon. A tip is to click and drag the closed captioning to move its positioning in the meeting window. To adjust the caption size, click the upward arrow next to start video / stop video. Click video settings, then accessibility, and move the slider to adjust the caption size. Zoom directions for using the chat for technical questions. If you have a technical question about Zoom or the features of the meeting, please use the chat function and we will attempt to troubleshoot your problem and get back to you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Nora Nagel, one of RTAG's co-chairs, to give a quick RTAG update. Go ahead, Nora.
Thanks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Riders Transportation Access Group, also known as RTAG. We're a community-based group that advises the MBTA on transportation matters impacting people with disabilities and older adults. Back in October, RTAG received a grant from the Transportation for Massachusetts, known as T number 4 MA, to promote collaboration among advocates for biking, disability rights, and pedestrians. Our objective is to improve understanding of the unique challenges faced by individuals with disabilities in Boston's shared spaces. We held the first working group meeting a couple of weeks ago, during which we made significant progress. We refined our mission statement, identified shared policy goals, and outlined our work plan for 2025 and criteria for measuring our success. Our mission is to promote collaboration and understanding of the challenges associated with shared spaces, such as bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks, and bus stops statewide. We are committed to advocating for safety and accessibility in the design of these shared spaces, with a focus on the unique experiences of people with disabilities. Through education, outreach, and active engagement, we will advocate for and support inclusive policies that enhance the safety and accessibility of shared spaces for all people with disabilities, pedestrians, bicyclists, drivers, and transit riders. A couple of weeks ago, members of RTAG also met with designers and researchers from Bessemer Alliance, a strategy-driven consultancy, and Braun Ability. They are collaborating on a research project to understand and improve the accessibility of taxi and rideshare services for wheelchair users. During the meeting, RTAG members identified significant challenges and opportunities for creating lasting change in this area, such as the comfort and space within vehicles, as well as the availability of wheelchair accessible options. If you are a wheelchair user and want to provide feedback to the Braun Ability team, please get in touch with Kat at RTAG, BOSTON, RTAG Boston, at bostoncil.org, or by phone at 978-893-8100 to connect, and those will both be in the chat. Last night, members from the Daniels Feingold Plaintiff Group, as well as members from the RTAG Executive Board, met with members from system-wide accessibility and other MBTA staff to discuss updates regarding third-party bus providers. For those of you who aren't familiar with that term, third-party bus providers are the contractors that the MBTA uses to provide additional vehicles and drivers when needed. An example being during service diversions. We discussed updates and improvements made with training, operations, and diversions for the past couple of years, as well as recent monitoring reports on denials of service, stop announcements, requests for assistance, and wheel mobility device securements. Plaintiffs and RTAG members had positive feedback to share, including recent use of all low-floor buses and consistent stop announcements, but also did bring up continued challenges for wheel mobility device users if high-floor buses continue to be in use, as well as lack of MBTA bus driver capacity to support in-house MBTA buses during diversions. The MBTA updated plaintiffs on the additional steps that they will take going forward to continue to improve accessibility of third-party buses during any future service diversions. And I'll turn it back over to Kat.
Great, thanks, Nora. Next slide. And now I am going to hand it over to Laura Brailsford, the Assistant General Manager of System-Wide Accessibility, for some updates. Take it away, Laura.
Thanks, Kat, and good afternoon, everyone. Really glad to be able to be here with you this afternoon. I've got a number of updates and one favor to ask all of you. Before we dive in, just for folks' awareness on the screen, we've got a nice collage of different users accessing our fixed route system, from a wheelchair user getting ready to board the green line to individual service animal looking at some station signage, to a gentleman at our mobility center getting some travel training assistance. Next slide. All right. We did want to bring one recent snafu to your attention. Some folks on the screen may have experienced a bit of a glitch with our elevator and escalator service alerts all the weekend over this past weekend. And if so, we just wanted to share some background with you on what happened and where things stand. But by way of background, we have a very comprehensive set of protocols in place for letting riders know when an elevator or escalator goes out of service and what the alternative service options are when that happens. In a nutshell, as soon as our maintenance team enters a service ticket, meaning as soon as they officially report the elevator or escalator is out of service, pre-populated language shows up on our website and is immediately broadcast out to digital signage throughout the system. And for riders who have signed up to receive what we call service alerts, usually in the form of text messages, they'll get that alert letting them know that the unit's out of service and what alternate options are available. This is a phenomenal little bit of technology because it basically allows for that information to be shared in real time. But like with most phenomenal technological advances, sometimes they break. And that's what happened here. As part of a broader set of updates with our asset management database, a glitch was introduced that basically wiped out all of the updates over the weekends. This was caught pretty quickly, and all of the updates were manually rebroadcast. And the teams in our technology divisions are still working through this. So for the time being, things are not quite as automated. But as soon as the unit goes out of service, one of the staff in our operations control center enters the information automatically. So the information is still there, and everybody's working to get the technology working again. So we only bring this up in the chance that if you got some strange messages over the weekends as a service alert subscriber, that's what's going on, and we're focused on getting it fixed. And on the screen there on the right, this is what the web page looks like on our service alerts page. So if you have not seen this before, it's absolutely worth checking out. Just go to mbta.com, and towards the top of the screen, you'll see an option for service alerts. Next slide. All right, the next update is if you subscribe to our monthly newsletter, you will likely remember that a couple weeks ago, we sent out a heads up on a change that has recently come to the way we operate trains on the Red Line. Specifically, as many folks know, whether you use the red, the orange, or the blue lines, our standard subway train sets are made up of 6 subway cars, and that's considered a standard train set. Very, very recently, just in the last 2 weeks on the Red Line, the operations division is moving forward with the practice of, as needed, occasionally deploying a shorter 4-car train set. The reason for this is the fact that we are working very hard to retire our oldest set of train cars. They are well beyond their useful life, and they introduce a lot of challenges, both in terms of maintenance and customer experience. For folks who spend a lot of time on the Red Line, you may have encountered the fact that the audible announcements on some of our oldest cars are not always reliable or easy to hear. So we're working really hard to phase them out as we receive brand new Red Line vehicles. But because of that, there are some mornings during rush hour where we're not able to meet the capacity, provide the capacity we need to serve riders waiting on the platforms. And while we don't have enough trains always for an additional 6-car train, we often have enough trains for a 4-car train. So as you're out on the Red Line, you may notice that during rush hours, there are occasionally shorter train sets made up of 4 cars. We recognize that for some riders, this may be somewhat disorienting and a significant change because we know some customers wait on the same part of the platform to take their trips every day, and this, is a regular habit. And we've established our safe path of travels, and making a change unexpectedly is not nothing to ask. So we've taken this really seriously. 2 things are happening to make sure that this happens safe and accessibly. The first is if a short train set is deployed, as it's approaching a platform, you'll hear a verbal audible announcement letting everybody on the platform know that a short train set's about to serve the station, and that folks should head down towards the front of the train car. And that information will be available visually too on our overhead signage. And then in addition to that, in the last car of the train set, car number 4, there will be another MBTA employee. And their entire responsibility is just scanning the platform to make sure that nobody who typically waits by car number 5 or number 6 is anticipating a car there, and just make sure everybody is safe on the platform. And then in addition to that, at some of our highest ridership stations, you may see extra staff on the platforms to keep things moving smoothly. So if you have any concerns or questions, please let us know, but we hope you get a chance to see one of these shorties driving on the track sometime soon. Next slide. All right. Some very exciting news now coming at you from the town of Wellesley. For those that attend these meetings regularly, you will know that over the last year or so, we've mentioned a very exciting initiative to deploy freestanding raised mini high-level platforms at a handful of inaccessible commuter rail systems across the system. And just 2 weeks ago, the first set of these freestanding platforms came online at Wellesley Square Commuter Rail Station. So this really represents an innovative approach to delivering very meaningful, very safe, solid, accessible service relatively cheaply, relatively quickly, and affordably, while we look at long-term options for funding and constructing full high-level platforms with all of the appropriate vertical circulation. I do want to note one unique thing about Wellesley is, although these platforms are great, and we also made a number of other accessibility improvements at the station, there is one significant barrier remaining here, and that's if you need to connect between the inbound and outbound platforms, it requires you to take a fairly windy path with extremely steep slopes. This is not a compliant, fully accessible pathway by any stretch. The general riders there today often take a staircase to connect to the inbound and outbound platforms. For those of us requiring stair-free access, there is a windy but very steep path, which may present a barrier to a number of folks. We are actively working on designing a solution to that. That is going to take time. So just wanted to make sure everyone aware of that. Make sure everyone's aware of that. So if you're planning to travel to Wellesley to check out the platforms, just be aware. And on the screen is a photo of that race platform with a canopy adjacent to the tracks. Next slide. And building off of this success on Wellesley, we're very excited that there's another 3 stations that are receiving these freestanding platforms that are gonna go live later in March over the next few weeks. And they are West Medford, Franklin, and Walpole commuter rail stations. And then in addition to those locations, we've got another 4 actively under design, including Lincoln, Concord, Endicott, and Wyoming Hills. And here is a photo of 3 employees wearing their safety jackets and vests out measuring the ramp actually at West Medford to check for all of the appropriate slopes and other accessibility requirements. Okay, another big update. So a couple of months ago, our technology team released essentially a beta version of the MBTA's first ever official app called MBTA Go. The version that was released a couple of months ago was just for iPhone users. And it included a lot of great features like the ability to check in real time the arrival information for your bus or subway train. In addition to getting that real time countdown, the app also allows you to visually see how many bus stops away your bus is, which is pretty cool. And then it also allows you to get all of the latest information on diversions and other obstacles in your trip. This version that was developed with accessibility in mind from day one, along with extensive accessibility testing, and is compatible with all of the major accessibility features on your phone. Next slide. But some more good news this week in that the team officially launched the app. It's no longer a beta version, and it's now available both for iPhone users and for Android users. And in addition to the features I just mentioned, this new iteration has a few additional tools, including the ability to get real-time information about out-of-service elevators. For those of you who use commuter rail, one really great thing is you can use the app to figure out what track your incoming train is assigned to. This version is a little bit easier to see your estimated arrival at your destination. And for those of you native French speakers here today, this version also supports French translations. The original version supported translations in six other languages. And if you haven't already downloaded it, you can download the app either at the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Completely free for all. Next slide. Okay, and I mentioned I had a favor to ask everyone here, and here it comes. I was actually just in a meeting this morning with the head of the team who is going to be responsible for implementing the automated enforcement or ticketing of vehicles illegally parked in MBTA bus stops. You may remember at last month's RTAG meeting, there was a really great presentation on the fact that legislation was recently passed that will enable us to do this. The team is at the point in time where they are deciding what bus stops might come online first. And I should mention that's an important decision because in order to make automated ticketing feasible, it requires a combination of cameras mounted on our buses, as well as at certain stops, cameras mounted at the bus stops themselves. So one thing the team asked my department to work on was coming up with a list of known stops where riders with disabilities, older adults, and others have regularly encountered barriers due to illegally parked vehicles. They really are looking to prioritize stops that are making it difficult for riders with disabilities to get on and off the bus. So if you've had experience with a bus stop where there's always cars blocked illegally, requiring you to step off into the street or just introducing all sorts of challenges, we want to know about that location. So if you've got a stop in mind, please send us a note at accessibility@mbta.com and we will pass it along to the team as they're working to prioritize locations. As I mentioned, we just found out about this morning, so we'll be sending out additional requests for feedback in the coming days and weeks. But I thought this meeting was a great opportunity to get the request out there as soon as possible. Next slide. All right, and last but almost last but not least, also really happy to report that our team within system-wide accessibility is growing. Want to welcome tonight Nicole Terone, who's joining us to fill our first ever manager of accessible mobility coordination and training developments. In this role, she's going to be responsible for a number of really important things, including overseeing our mobility center's travel training activities, supporting initiatives, and building community partnerships with all sorts of individuals and organizations, and helping to develop a training for staff focused on accessibility best practices. So many of you will be getting to know Nicole over the coming months, but just wanted to welcome her here tonight. All right, so last slide. Just to quickly wrap things up, as always, if you want to learn more about any of our accessibility basics, including all of the initiatives that are underway to keep things improving, check out mbta.com/accessibility, or you can go directly to that initiatives report by going to mbta.com/accessibility-initiatives. Almost all of the topics I covered, you can also find out about by subscribing to our newsletters by going to mbta.com/SWA sign up. And then certainly as you're out there riding the system, although we are very optimistic you'll have a good experience, we know that won't be the case 100% of the time. If you run into any issues at all, or if you want to shoot us a commendation, You can do so by calling our call center at 617-222-3200, filling out a feedback form by going to mbta.com and clicking on the support link at the top of the page, or sending us a tweet at MBTA. And then the other noteworthy plug is that the next RTAG meeting will be in March. This one is going to be a hybrid meeting. So for those who are able to join us in person, it would be a great opportunity to get together. That meeting will be on the 26th from 3 to 5 p.m. If you're not able to join in person, there'll also be a Zoom link available. And then for those of you who like to plan in advance, we are already working on our next formal official settlement update public meeting. This one is going to be on June 11th. It will also be a hybrid meeting, so stay tuned for details on that. All right, and with that, Kat, I will turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Laura. So now we will have questions or comments for system-wide accessibility. To indicate that you have a question, please use Zoom's raise hand feature located at the bottom of the screen. When you raise your hand, it alerts the moderator that you'd like to speak. The moderator will unmute attendees to ask questions in the order that they raise their hands. To speak, click reactions, then raise hand. On the keyboard, you can click the Alt and Y key buttons. And if you're calling in, you can press *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Does anyone have any questions for Laura and her team? Well, if you think of any, we'll have another feedback session after the ride. Oh, okay, Susie, go for
I
it.
just wanted to say that that I had a comment about the elevator at Park Street, but I had actually I had a pretty good response from Safira Bell Masterson in the chat, and they completely answered all the questions and let me know to definitely report to the MBTA every time I see an elevator that's out and struggle to get it to call it or to whatever the issue is, to just find a staff member to let them know or to make a report if I can. And I said that I would if I have time. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Susie, and thank you, Safira.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susie. Like I was saying before, we'll have another feedback session in a bit after the ride portion. So if you think of any questions at that time, you're more than welcome to share. So at this time, I would say next slide and we can move on to the ride portion. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Megan Ackerman, the Deputy Director of Paratransit Communications, to give an update for the ride. Go ahead, Megan.
Hi, everyone. Megan Ackerman here. Have a few updates about service levels and some stats. Just wanted to call out on our first slide here. We are showing off some of the great pictures we took a few months ago during a unseasonably warm week in October. Some of our RTAG subcommittee members joined us out in Boston to get some new photos of the vehicles in action and drivers working with customers. So we're excited to have those, and they'll be popping up probably on our website and different materials in the coming months. Next slide, please. So this slide has two graphs showing our ridership trends. The graph on the left side is a line graph showing our total rides per month going back to February of 24 through January of this year. been pretty steady, a little bit of a spike in November, but we are at around 140,000 rides every month. Below that are 3 lines showing how those trips are broken out by our different service providers. So about 80,000 were provided by our dedicated service providers, Veterans Transportation and We Drive You. Just under 60,000 were Ride Flex on-demand trips that customers ordered on their own. And about 10,000 trips were provided by Uber or Lyft after they were shifted by track. The graph on the right shows the same information just in a stacked bar chart. So again, about just over 80,000 of those rides were provided by our dedicated service providers, and just over 50,000 were on-demand trips for this month. Next slide, please. This is showing 2 charts comparing performance from 2024 to 2023. On the left-hand side is a graph showing our on-time performance for both years. The 2023 line is mostly under the 90% line, which is our goal for on-time performance. The 2024 line starts at 90% in January, got to a high of 96% in August, and we closed out the year in December with 93% on-time performance. On the right-hand side is a graph of our call center hold times at track. There's a line showing the 2-minute goal for call hold times. The 2023 line has a high of 10.3 minute average hold time in April of 2023. In 2024, the line is completely under that 2-minute mark, staying around 0.3 to 0.4 minutes. And in December, our average speed of answer was 0.3 minutes. Next slide, please. This is another graph showing some performance stats. On the left is a bar graph showing our on-time performance. Again, showing that 90% goal over the year and where we ended at 95% this past month in January. On the right is a graph tracking our pickups that are 2 hours or more late. In October of last year, we had the highest month recorded on this graph of just under or just over 0.1 trips per 1,000 trips were later than 2 hours. Last month in January, we were under 0.05 trips per 1,000 trips with that delay. Next slide, please. This is a slide about our call center performance, which I touched on a little. So the graph on the left again shows that 2-minute goal for hold time at track, and then data going back to February of 2024 showing rates well below that, including January of this year, where our average speed of answer was 0.23 minutes. On the right is a graph of call volume to track. In January, they took just under 95,000 calls in the month. And the highest month we have represented here was October of 2024, where it was between 95,000 and 100,000 calls for the month. Next slide, please. This graph is just showing the percentage of calls that are answered within that 2-minute goal that we have at track. For January, we hit 99.1%. So that is virtually all calls were answered within that 2-minute guideline. Next slide, please. I also wanted to provide a couple of updates about things that Michelle has been sharing at previous meetings. One is about our team staffing. So over the past 2-3 weeks, we've had 4 new people join the team. We have a deputy director of operations, deputy director of innovation, a senior customer liaison, and an issues resolution manager. We are still hiring for a few positions, mainly on the contract administration and analysis side, but we're really happy to have these new members on our team and excited about what we're going to be able to get done with them. And I know Michelle has also provided some updates on our new transportation management software. We contracted with a company called Spare Labs. Right now, we are working through implementation. We're working with them to set up the software for our service. We're very excited because there are going to be some great customer-facing features that will come along with this. So stay tuned over the next couple of months. We'll be sharing some more information about that, as well as instructions on how to use the new tools, how to set up accounts, how to schedule trips, and things like that. Next slide. So this is just a list of key contact information, numbers for track, where you would call to book, change, or cancel any of your trips. The phone number for the mobility center, where you can update your profile information, check on your eligibility information. You can also schedule an eligibility appointment or take advantage of travel training or some of the other services they offer there. If you have questions, inquiries, complaints, compliments, we have the number and website for the MBTA Customer Support Center. And we have some information we need to update about how to fund your ride account. We have recently made the switch over. Some of you may already be doing this, but now you can add funds directly through the portal that you use to schedule trips as well. So that's a one-stop shop for booking your trips online and adding funds to your account. I think this was the last slide. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much, Megan. So now we will have a question and comment period for Megan and her team. To indicate that you have a question, please use the Zoom's raise hand feature located at the bottom of the screen. When you raise your hand, it alerts the moderator that you'd like to speak. The moderator will unmute attendees to ask questions in the order that they raise their hands. To speak, click reactions, then raise hand. On the keyboard, you can click the Alt and Y buttons. And if you're calling in, you can press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. And I'm going to start with Rashad.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a question in regard to the Flex account and the issue that come up with the requirements for drug testing. Any update? Is that Flex ride gonna be canceled, replaced? Are you working out with Uber and Lyft to see if this could happen? Can you provide an update, please? Thank you very much.
Sure. So there's not really a lot of new information to share, but just for some context for folks who may not be aware of this, towards the end of December, the FTA released a new proposal that could affect programs like Flex by requiring companies like Uber and Lyft that participate in these programs to have the same drug and alcohol testing requirements that the MBTA and other transit agencies have. They had a public comment period that closed earlier this month, and I believe they got quite a few comments, including a response from the MBTA. It's our understanding right now that the new administration has put any changes like this on hold. So for right now, we've submitted our feedback. other agencies and customers have submitted their feedback, but we're just kind of waiting to see what happens next.
So you don't think this is gonna go away?
I don't know.
Because helps so many of us, especially the blind community, to the flexible ride. It's very helpful to go back and forth. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, no, and that's some of what was included, you know, in our response. And I believe Kat submitted one on behalf of RTAG or BCIL, just highlighting, you know, the number of people who use the service. But right now we're just in a wait and see.
Thank you so much for that question, Rashad, and thank you for the response, Megan. Kathy Morrison, you're next.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just got two quick questions. The first one is, you have up to 10 rides on your profile that you frequently visit. And in the past, the ride did let you have at least up to 20. Is there any way they can go back to that? Because I do frequent rides sometimes to the hospitals, and the more you book new places, the more those rides get truncated off. And you want your hospital visits to stay in.
Right. So with the new software, or sorry, with the current software as things are, we can't. With the new software that's coming later this year, there should be more flexibility for you to book trips and not have to pre-register those addresses.
Okay, that's excellent. And then the second question is, okay, so when the Ride first started letting people do the Ride Flex program, I was the ride pilot. I went to the Ride Flex. Then they came out with, if you are on the van, you get to use Uber and Lyft. And I like to shift between the two. I don't have a problem with Lyft. I'm all of a sudden now, and it never happened before, having a problem getting my rides loaded up to Uber automatically, and there's no way to get in touch with them. I used to email them, but I'm not able to do that anymore.
So when, like at the start of the month, the little toggle at the bottom of the screen went away and you can't switch to a business profile anymore?
I can still switch to the business profile, but it's not giving me the discounted rate.
Okay. So there was a bit of a glitch that Uber was experiencing for a little bit where it wasn't showing the discounted rate. People were still getting charged still getting charged the discounted rate, but obviously that was you know, confusing for folks and understandable that people might not want to book a trip thinking it was that much. It's my understanding that has been fixed. So is this recently that you've been having this issue?
Yes, like I went to do it a week ago and it still had the problem.
Okay. Have you done it more recently than a week ago?
No, but you want to let me go in real quick, I can let you know.
Yeah, if you want to check and then yeah, see if it's updated.
Okay, so take the next question and then you can come back to me because I got to go into my account.
Great. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank
I'll call
you.
on you in a bit.
Okay,
Feel
thank
free
you.
to raise your hand again when you're ready.
All right, thank you.
Of course. Adam, you're next.
Audio now on.
So I had the similar concerns that Rashad had because I'm in NFB and I saw the same things, and I'm glad to hear that RideFlex is still happening, because a compliment I have is having the subsidized rides allows me to do trips for a reasonable price that can be done when things get finalized in the same day. So for that very reason, I'd like to be able to see it continue, and I hope it works out the way it does, because Lyft has been positive, and for every time I've needed the ride, especially when I have to get prescriptions, and I'd like to be able to get to where I need to go in the state with multiple options. So it's been a great program, and I hate to see that go away if it does.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Thank you so much for sharing your positive experience. I think many people feel the same way.
Yeah, definitely, because especially with what I like to do for work anyway, I'd like to be able to get to all the different areas of the state. Like, so when somebody mentioned you can schedule transfers, does that mean transfer to the different transit authorities that your destination is in if the trip is not in the ride service area with the new software?
Sorry, Adam, was there a question at the end?
Yeah, so when we were doing the ride presentation, she was saying something about how the software can help you schedule transfers, especially if the calls, is that transfers for service areas that are not covered by the ride?
No, so nothing about the service area is changing, and you'll be able to schedule trips. But nothing about our service area is
So
changing.
there was something about transfers. I thought you guys didn't do transfers anymore.
We do transfers with Metro West and Dial-A-Bat.
And that's it.
Yes.
So you don't transfer with like Worcester or any or Wall or any of those.
No, it's just with Metro West and Dial-A-Bat.
So that means you'll have to go to a certain point if you want to get to those areas, and then they probably do the other transfers depending on where you need to go.
Yeah, then you would have to schedule that trip. Yeah.
Or I know there's other options too for that. I just want that clarification because people have talked about different things. I noticed somebody talks about Uber Business, and I know that sometimes right, sometimes not. That's what it sounds like. I just wanted the clarification.
Great. Thank you,
I'm
Adam, for
glad
your
you explained
questions.
that.
Appreciate it. Kathy, I see your hands raised again. I'm going to go back to you quickly.
Okay, yes, I just looked in and it's still not giving me the discount rate and it's on the business profile.
Okay, could you please submit something through customer support so we can look at that some more? We can reach back out to our contacts at Uber and make sure that this isn't still an issue and then try to troubleshoot from there.
Okay, I just want to mention I did that a week ago and I still haven't gotten a response. But I'll
Okay,
do
it may be, we were looking into this one issue, but it sounds like this might be something different. So we may need to do a little bit more digging.
Okay, thank you, Megan.
Great. Thank you,
Thanks.
Kathy.
Thank you.
The next person is calling in from a 339 number. We can't hear you currently. It looks like you're muted. You can press *6 to unmute.
Hello, excuse me. Is it 339 you said?
What was that?
Is the number phone 339?
Yes. Yep. It's your turn.
Oh, it's me. I'm calling for a couple of reasons. You know, I'm a little bit frustrated. I place a request, to go to work, for example, in the morning. They're asking me if you want, tell me what time you want to go to work, to be at work. I say 8:30, but 8:30 they're gonna send somebody at 6:45 to pick me up. And I say, okay, maybe I get home, I get to work early. Then we go sit to pick up somebody else. We go sit maybe at a day app when it doesn't open until 8:30, and we have to sit there for 45 minutes until 8:30 before we can go to our place in bus. That's ridiculous. I mean, I understand the share ride. We understand that. That's great. But can somebody look into sometime when those as most people say, the computer does the routes, but nobody can look into this. How can I spend 2 hours and a half just to go 9 miles? That's not good. Some of us are going to work. We depend on this transportation. As you see, many of us who are visually impaired really rely upon this transportation. The second thing is, if you call the ride to schedule a ride, and let's say in the evening they tell you that you can get picked up by another ride, and they tell you you drop off, you'll be like 2 hours later. If you ask somebody, can you please send me an Uber or a Lyft? You have somebody there who is the supervisor, whatever, for the evening. That person is not nice. And that he does not give you even a leeway to say, no, we don't do that. But if you, in your email, in your message, you say that if you don't want to take, the ride, Lyft or something, you can ask for that. Why can't we ask that, especially when you know that when they're going to pick you up, you're going to be like 2 hours late to office or later. And can you get you ask them, can you just send me an Uber tomorrow? No. And they don't like to do that. That's something we really have to think about. And some people like to, some people are going to work. We want to, maybe do a little something fast. The third question is, are you now change the rule if somebody comes to the airport, if they were late, you cannot send them a driver to come pick them? Because this happened to me twice. The latest one was February 6th. Coming back from Washington, D.C., the flight was late. I got to the airport. I called the dispatcher. I'm here. There's no ride. He said, well, you came late. We cannot give you another ride. So I was stranded at the airport until I have to call my family to make some sure. That's not fair. You cannot strand somebody who is part of the system at the airport. And he hung up the phone on me. And I told him, I hope this message, is been recorded. This is not the right thing to do. This is not the first time. This is like a third time happened to me within the past 13 months. Because last January, same thing, and it happened. It's not fair. If you have the choice for asking for Uber, why can't we just say, well, if the ride can be late, can you send me an Uber? I'm paying for it. What's the difference?
Sure. So I am sorry. It sounds like you've had some not great experiences on the phone, which is something we can touch base with TRAC about, make sure that they're working with call takers on their professionalism on the phones, because they should be answering your questions politely and professionally. And just to clarify that, no, if it's your first trip of the day and you miss the pickup time, unfortunately, we can't send another ride just because the day's schedule has already been made. There are other trips that need to get picked up. And in terms of, you're always welcome to request an Uber and a Lyft when you call in. Whether or not TRAC is able to send one is kind of based on the overall traffic of the day. So sometimes it does make the most sense and is going to work out best for everyone to send an Uber or Lyft. And sometimes what's going to work best is to send a ride vehicle. So it really depends on everything else that's going on that day.
I understood, but what I'm telling you, most of the time they will pick me up earlier than I want to, and we go sit in people's place or sit in some for about 45 minutes to an hour. A half an hour to 45 minutes waiting for the other people time to come. Say, why didn't you just take me home? Take me somewhere and bring me back. Today, this afternoon, I got a ride from my work to go to Quincy from Quincy, they're gonna pick up somebody and bring her back to Dorchester, then bring me back to to Weymouth. Does that make sense to you, my dear?
Megan, would you mind if I hop in?
Oh,
I'm
sure.
sorry, I didn't get your name. It's Michelle Styler, and I just joined because I had a conflict, but I don't think I got your name.
Inky.
Inky?
Tengil. My name is Tengil, yes.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing your concerns with us. And we do have some challenges with how we can dispatch Uber. And I just wanted to give Megan a break. She stepped in my absence, and Megan, I appreciate that. And this certainly sounds like a challenging issue. And I think that she handled it thoughtfully and tactfully. I always ask that, number one, that you submit a complaint. Number two, because you're bringing it up here, if you could share your information so we can look into the particular issues. I know that some of our customers get frustrated about the shared ride and about how trips are built. We've seen less efficient trips and long onboard times since we've added drivers, but it sounds like that hasn't been your experience recently. Am I correct?
Yes.
Those are recent experiences? So what I would really like to do is have our team take a look at those trips to see if there are any tips that we can provide to you, perhaps in how they're being booked, and certainly investigate the way those call takers addressed your concerns. And then the last piece is, again, the airport issue. I'm not certain of the particulars of your trip, but I'm curious if it's at the end of the night, and perhaps that was a challenging period. And we would like to look at that as well. And then lastly, I wanted to ask, do you participate in RideFlex?
I'm sorry, do I have a red flex, you said?
Yeah, yes. Do you participate in RideFlex?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But
Now,
you know, I don't have enough, what do you call it, to ride with, because I work.
Mhm.
If, you know, every day I have to take, you know, if I take it, before you know, I don't have any more rides. So we're trying to rely on the regular MBTA ride, but, you know, it just doesn't work. If somebody has to go to work, you know, and you beg for the guy in the evening, can you just send me an Uber since it's not going to be late? No, we don't do that. We got plenty of drivers. You got plenty of drivers, but why are you doing this to people?
It's and I hear you and I understand, and you know, I'm committed to investigating these particular incidents, and we can certainly pull those phone calls and those conversations to address behavior or less than professional behavior by the call takers. But again, I would love to pull all of this information, investigate it, and follow up with you. Are you
Sure.
willing to share that with us?
Of course I will.
Okay. Okay.
If you have a number, we'll call you later. I will. If you want me to give you, you know.
If you would like to provide your contact information discreetly offline to Kat, we have two team members, and I'm joining at the back end of this, but we have two new people that joined our team this week, specifically to address customer concerns. So we're really happy to share that we've built out our team to tackle these issues and concerns that are shared with us.
Well, I'll be glad to do so. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks, Michelle and Megan. There is a question in the chat from Jennifer Smith Workman. I think, Michelle, this may have been before you hopped on, but there was a ride customer who was sharing that they could not see or it was right when you hopped on, that they could not see the discounted trips on Uber. And uses both Uber and Lyft, but it was working on Lyft. So Jennifer was commenting on that and said, I was under the impression that you could have one or the other, Uber or Lyft, not both. Is this correct? I'm wondering if that's why the woman can't see Uber. And Megan responded by saying customers who use a wheelchair can sign up with both Uber and Lyft because of the availability of wheelchair accessible vehicles. I just wanted folks to share that. Any other questions for the ride or even system-wide accessibility?
Hello, hello.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, I did raise my hand. I don't know what happened to it. So I do have a question and a concern. So my question is about the Uber app. So I can go in there and I know, let's say I know I have 20 rides, but then as I'm using them, is there a way to find out how many rides I have left?
Debbie, I'm not certain that we have somebody on the line that can answer that question directly.
Uh-huh,
Let me
okay.
look. I don't think we do. I know that we had someone out.
Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Debbie, did you say you have Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Yeah, so in Uber, it will show you as soon as you toggle to the business profile that says Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, it will say how many trips you have left in that section.
I haven't found that. I've only found it that how many trips I have a month. I haven't been able to get the balance of how many trips I have left.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it while you're on the phone. I can, get in there and look, and you can, you know what I mean? I can.
So if you toggle that option, it just tells you your total number of trips is what you're saying, not your balance?
Correct.
Could you send us a screenshot of that and submit it to the customer support, and we'll look into it with Uber?
All right, what's the number I should text? I should send it to?
Just the MBTA customer support.
Okay, all right, customer support. Let me just write that down so I don't forget, because I will forget. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so now I have a major concern. Major. I'm just going to say this as nicely as I can. I am so fed up with the service animal denials. It's not even funny. Okay. I have my guide dog registered, did the whole bit. But if I'm going with my husband to one of his appointments, and this happened on Tuesday, that he called for an appointment for him under his ride stuff and said, I'm going to have a PCA. My wife's going with me, and she has a service dog. They would not. They gave me such a hard time. They wouldn't schedule it. Wouldn't they say, you can't do that. Why can't you, yours, it's not on your profile, so she can't bring her service dog. I'm like, oh, no, I can bring it. I've already brought my service dog of trips for him before. And we got in a big argument. And honestly, I lost it. Totally lost it. Because this is wrong. Why can't I take my service? I'm letting them know I have a service dog. Okay. Sometimes I've actually let them know and it's not been on the screen. So they actually have not taken me when he's gone to his appointments. And the lady had the nerve to say, why can't I use my account? What, I don't have any money, so you have to use his account? He goes, it's my doctor's appointment, not hers. She's going with me. And it was just a big mess. So yet one lady ended up hanging up on us when I really lost it. And then he called back, and I don't know if we got the same lady or a different lady, but they said the same thing. No, we're not going to schedule. You can't do that. You can't put schedule with the service animal because it's not your account. So finally, we asked for a supervisor, and the supervisor ended up scheduling it. And he was like, I'm sorry for the confusion. It's getting to be so out of hand. I have no patience left. None. Actually, negative patience, if you know what I mean. Because this is really wrong that I should have to go through this just because I have a guide dog. Shouldn't have to go through this. It's really emotionally draining. It's getting to be a lot between the Uber and Lyft stuff, and now the ride is doing it. And forget it. I have nothing left.
Debbie, am I hearing you correctly? Are you saying a ride vehicle denied you a trip?
Yes.
This absolutely should never happen. And this is something that I will escalate with TRAC immediately. I know that you've experienced some challenges with Uber and Lyft, but I would like to get this information and address it immediately, and we will have someone follow up with you.
Okay.
I am sorry. I am sorry to hear that you had difficulties.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Debbie, thank you for sharing. And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. This has happened before to you, Debbie, correct?
It has, yes.
Debbie, I was not under the impression that it was ever a ride vehicle. Not that it's ever okay, but I'm upset and frustrated to hear that you experienced a challenge with a service animal on a ride vehicle, and we will address that immediately and follow up with you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Debbie, for sharing. Michael, you're next. You are currently muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I absolutely love the ride. For the first 5 years, I took the bus and then I switched to the pilot, and now I'm just exclusively ride flex. I use a power wheelchair, and I keep going over the allotted trips every month. And I've been trying for a couple of years, maybe 3 years, to try to get allotted more rides. And I always get the same response, which is number of rides are reviewed twice a year. And every year I don't get more, but it's very clear from my history of trips that I go way over. And I'm spending hundreds of dollars out of pocket. And so I'm just wondering, is there someone I could speak with and just to see if I qualify for more rides based on my ride history? And I've probably been using the ride for, I don't know, 10 years. And I love it. I couldn't live my life the way I do without it. I live in the suburbs and I use Lyft only.
Thank you, Michael. What I can share with you, and I know everybody would like to increase their flex trips. It is delicate to balance. We do have a limited budget, and we look at the overall usage of all customers as we're evaluating. So we do look at a customer's past history, but we also look at the overall need, and we have to balance that with the money we have available to us. And when we are able to, we do increase trips, but we do have to cap them at a certain amount as well. And we do revisit twice a year, but there are other factors that we need to consider when we allocate trips.
Well, thanks, Michelle. I actually didn't realize that. I didn't realize that you had a limited number and that you have to dole them out accordingly. I thought it was just
No, ride flex.
unlimited, but thank you for explaining that.
Can I add one note? It sounds like the way we calculate this is your ride trip history. So it sounds like you're going over your flex trips and then paying for your own Ubers. Those kind of privately paid for Ubers or Lyfts would not count into our calculation. It would be any trip you take with the ride, be it the ride vans or the ride flex. So I think that is why I think you're not seeing an increase, but I'm happy to look into your case specifically.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you. And Kat has my information, Elizabeth, if you want to call me, or you can reach me on my cell at 781.
Wait, no. Stop. It's a public meeting. You don't want everybody
I'm
on this
sorry.
line.
All right.
I can share your contact information, Michael.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words about your experience with the ride. Our team will definitely look into your history, but I just wanted to, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to share. We had recently gone to the board meeting in February to exercise our option years with Uber and Lyft because of the popularity of the Ride Flex program. And we do subsidize the trip. So we do pay the difference between the trips. And that's what we're talking about when I was saying that, you know, we also have to be mindful of our budget.
Right. Understood. Thank
But we
you.
will follow up, Mr. Martinetti.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks,
Thank you,
Michelle.
Elizabeth. Yes.
Kobina? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Close, Kobina, Bonnie.
Kobina.
Yes, a couple of comments. One, the first comment I want to make is Inky's complaint about pickups from the airport, which actually happened twice when I was with him. And then there were a couple of times that I wasn't. So the response, part of the response was, I think, talked about if it's your first ride of the day, etc. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good response to the question. I can see the earlier complaint about him going to work in the morning and all that. If if the response was towards that, great. But in the case of the airport, what happened was this, or at least in the two times when it happened to us, with me being with him. So we have reservations made. We find out that our flights are going to be late. So we call. The last one was July of last year. I called from the airport. I told them, this is what's going on. They are telling us we are going to be about an hour and a half late, which will be later than we're supposed to be picked up. So I want to let them know, because in the past they tell us, okay, cancel the ride and let us know. And then when you get to the airport, call us again. We'll try and find you something. When I spoke to the person, I told her, she said, well, you can go ahead and cancel it, but we are not going to be able to pick you up because you'll be late. I said, hold on a second. The rule was that first you need to cancel, because it doesn't make any sense to leave that reservation in place when you know you're not going to be there. So she said, no, well, if you want, you can cancel it. But whatever the case is, we are not going to be able to pick you up. So yes, I canceled the trip. And then when I got to the airport, I called and they said, no, they're not going to be able to send anybody. So the question is, if in fact there was a reservation made and the person has called to let you know the flight is late, wouldn't the normal thing be, okay, call when you get to the airport like they used to do, and then make an attempt to get them something? It's one thing if you make an attempt and you are unsuccessful, right? At least you made an attempt. But in both instances, the clear answer was, no, we are not going to get you. We are not even going to try. And they told me that was a change of policy. In fact, I proceeded to file a complaint, or at least I wrote to the MBTA. I called and somebody took a complaint on the phone. They said somebody will respond. They sent me a copy of the complaint by email. Said somebody will follow up. I never heard from anybody. I called again, I think 3 weeks later, told them, and they said somebody follow up. Nothing happened. That was back in July of last year. And then recently it happened on February 6th. So less than a month ago.
Can I ask one more time for you to pronounce your first name for me?
Kobena, spelled Kobena.
I can see it up on the screen, Kobena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the third incident I've heard about recently. There have been no policy changes, but when I'm hearing these concerns, we are going to bring it back to the team and we're going to discuss these issues. I'm always hesitant to speak to specific incidents without having all the facts in front of me.
That's fair.
But one of my general thoughts are, if it's late in the evening and there are no vehicles available, perhaps that was what you experienced. And I'm not saying that's correct. So really what I would like to do is dive into, again, you hear me say this all the time, but dive into these specific issues. It sounds like it's a recurring issue. I want to understand it, and I want to understand the policy we have in place, how it's being interpreted, and how it's impacting our customers. And we'll have a discussion internally to see what we can do. But we will follow up with you No matter what the results of the discussion are, we will follow up with you and talk through the policy.
Sure. Thank you very much.
But I can hear that it's challenging, that there are some conflicting messages that you're hearing. So I'd really like to get to the root of what's causing this. And it sounds like confusion.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing another experience with the airport.
Great, thank you so much. Shirley?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I have a question on the Flex program, the number of rides that's allocated for the customer.
Mhm.
So I'm with the Lyft and they allocate 2 rides for me since I don't used to ride that much these days.
Mhm.
So 2 rides is basically equal to a round trip. So if they're giving 2 rides, why couldn't it be 4 so you get 2 round trips rather than 2 rides, which is basically equal to 1 round trip?
Elizabeth, do you want to hop on here?
Sure. Yeah, I think we've set the trip caps in such a way that the trips really go to people who are already existing ride customers and are using the service. We have intentionally kept a 2 trip cap limit so that we don't introduce a ton of runaway, what we call induced demand, from people who don't use the ride service, because otherwise we would not be able to pay for this program, frankly. We could argue about like what the appropriate trip cap is for someone who's brand new to the ride.
I'm not brand new to the ride. I've been with the ride for 10 years and I do use the ride, but I just been fortunate that I've been able to get a ride from my fiance to my doctor's appointments, which I don't have many these days. But you know, I
Okay,
have
if you're using,
go ahead,
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead. If you're using the ride at all, you would have more than 2, so we can look into your case specifically. That's really only for people who have 0 trips in the last few months on the ride.
Okay, well, you know, I'm just, you know, questioning that because if, you know, I was to use Lyft for an emergency, and it's not really that I could really use it because they don't provide door-to-door service, which is what I need because I'm blind. So I need someone to actually come into the building where I would be standing in the doorway waiting for them to call my name out. They just do the curbside. So, you know, it's difficult for me to even take that. But if I ever was to use it, I was just wondering why couldn't 2 rides be 4, which would be equal to 2 round trips rather than 2 rides, which is equal to 1 round trip. And that's all. I'm not asking for more right now because, you know, but I'm just wondering about that.
I see.
Elizabeth,
just to clarify, so you do use the regular ride service?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay. Well, then you should have more than 2 rides, so we can look into that.
Well, that for the ride is I guess it's for the ride itself, it's unlimited, but for the flex, which I have signed up for with Lyft, I get 2 rides, and that's, you know, just 1 round trip if I was to use that. And that's all. That's what I'm questioning. And then the other thing also is if the Lyft and Uber is being contracted by the ride to drive ride customers who are basically disabled or have some kind of handicap, why aren't they trained, or why don't they provide the kind of door-to-door service if needed rather than just curbside?
Sure. So the Ride Flex really is just a voucher program with Uber and Lyft. They don't know that you're a ride customer when they're taking you. They see you just as kind of any other paying Uber customer or Lyft customer.
Okay.
And they provide this, so they provide the same level of service they would for anyone ordering any Uber or Lyft.
Okay, okay, I see. All right. So are you going to look into that? I mean, I'm just speaking for maybe all other ride customers that maybe are signed up with the Flex, Uber or Lyft, and if they're only allocated 2 trips, which I understand if we don't use the service that much, but you know, I'm just wondering, like 2 rides is equal to one round trip. And usually the person needs, you know, a ride somewhere, they would need a return ride. So that would just be really one ride. So,
Right. So like I said, anyone who is using the ride actively would get more than 2 trips a month. So which is why I want to look into your case specifically, because if you have any trip history with us recently, you would be assigned more than that.
okay.
Thanks, Shirley, for your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for hopping in. One of the things that I'd just like to share with the folks on this call is I had mentioned that for a while we were looking to expand the team. And in the last couple of weeks, we've added 4 new people to our team. And we will also be adding an analyst to the team. And I think that this puts us in a position where we can spend a little bit more time diving into some of the data regarding RideFlex, some of the performance data, some of the complaints, and we'll have the ability to follow up in more detail. And that's what we're looking forward to. So you can expect to see additional responsiveness.
Great, thanks, Michelle. And a final note in the chat, Jennifer Smith Workman had said, I thought if you canceled your pickup, you cannot be picked up. I was told to be a no-show and to call when you are ready. Never let them cancel your trip. That's the policy I've known for the past 10 years.
So Jennifer is correct. If you cancel a trip, the policy is that you can't reschedule same day. We don't offer same day service. What I'm hearing from customers, particularly as it relates to the airport, is that often there are delayed trips. So that's what I committed to exploring internally with our team. Is there room to make an exception? Why are they being told, yes, cancel, and you can reschedule? So we will look internally to make sure that we are fully aligned on the policy, and we'll be prepared to communicate that out.
Thanks, Michelle. And Adam also shared, I think, a comment based on Shirley's point. Sometimes if you have multiple, then it's not a round trip, since there are scenarios when you need to add an extra ride. And if you need a cited guide, you can add a note and you can ask the driver for help to get where you want to go, whether it's an entrance or mailbox lead.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Shirley. Any other questions for the ride team or system-wide accessibility? These have all been really great. All right, we can head to the next slide. Thank you all for attending. Like Laura shared, our next general membership meeting is going to be Wednesday, March 26th, at the same time as today's meeting, but it's going to be hybrid. So if you're able to come in person, we are trying to encourage as many folks to come in person, just so we can all be together in the same space. But again, there will be a virtual component if that works better for you. It'll take place at the MBTA boardroom, excuse me, on the 2nd floor at 10 Park Plaza, and we'll share out this information in our newsletters as well. And to sign up for RTAG newsletters, the link was just put in the chat. And thank you all for coming again, and reach out to me if you need anything else. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.